1% every day. Present. How to embrace your weaknesses and live a better life. Do you have a hidden talent that you haven't used yet? Do you feel like you could be better at something if you only knew how? If you answered yes to either of those questions, then this article is for you. Darren Hardy, a successful author and speaker, has a message for you. Embrace your weaknesses. Number 1. Embrace your individuality. There is no one right way to be, and that includes embracing your flaws. Ultimately, embracing your individuality means being comfortable in your own skin. It means being true to yourself, and refusing to be ashamed or embarrassed of who you are. Some people find it difficult to be themselves, because they're worried about what other people will say or think. But being yourself is the best way to connect with others. When you're genuine and authentic, people will appreciate it. They'll see the real you, rather than the persona you put up for them. And that's the key to embracing your individuality: being comfortable in your own skin. If you're not comfortable with who you are, then you're not really embracing your individuality at all. You're simply running away from who you really are. Sooner or later, that will catch up with you. Number 2. Use your flaws to relate to others. When you embrace your flaws, you open yourself up to new relationships and experiences. You can better relate to others because your weaknesses are something that others can understand and connect with. Recognizing your flaws helps you become more self-aware. This in turn allows you to better understand yourself, and develop a deeper self-esteem. By using your weaknesses as a stepping stone, you can achieve great things. For example, by relating to others based on our commonalities, we can form stronger connections. In addition, when you focus on how you feel rather than how you look, you can dispel any negative body image thoughts. Furthermore, learning to reframe your negative thoughts is an important skill that will help you live a better life. By accepting yourself for who you are, you'll be able to conquer any obstacle that comes your way. Number 3. Find role models with similar flaws. Finding role models with similar flaws can be beneficial in a number of ways. By relating to others in similar situations, you can gain a better understanding of yourself. Additionally, by focusing on how you feel and not how you look, you can set realistic expectations for yourself. Finally, by recognizing your own self-worth, you can begin to build confidence in yourself. A great way to find role models with similar flaws is to search online. There are numerous websites that allow users to find people who share their exact interests or who have experienced the same life challenges. Additionally, social media platforms such as Twitter and Instagram offer an abundance of opportunity for finding people with similar backgrounds. However, not all role models are online. In fact, many of the greatest role models in history were people who you would never suspect. For example, Bill Gates is a role model for many because of his achievements in technology, but he is also a role model for many because of his philanthropy. Similarly, Mother Teresa is a role model not only for her work with the poor, but also for her humility and faith. The key is to find someone who represents your unique strengths and weaknesses in a positive way. Although it may be difficult at first, it is ultimately worth it to find a role model who understands you. Number 4. Set realistic standards for yourself. In order to achieve success, it's important to set realistic standards for yourself. You need to be honest with yourself and set goals that are achievable yet challenging. When you set your standards, you're giving yourself a roadmap to success. This way, you'll be motivated to keep going even when things get tough. Setting unrealistic goals can lead to disappointment and self-doubt. It's important to keep in mind that there is no one right way to succeed. There are many paths to success, and the key is finding the one that works best for you. What matters most is that you're working towards your goals, not someone else's. When you set realistic standards, you're setting yourself up for future success. You'll be confident in your abilities, and you'll be better equipped to handle difficult challenges. Not only will you achieve your goals, but you'll also learn a lot in the process. Number 5. Focus on how you feel, not how you look. When you focus on how you look in the mirror, you become focused on your own body image. You start to compare yourself to other people, which can lead to feelings of insecurity and inadequacy. Instead, focus on how you feel. What do you like about your body? What do you think are its strengths? When you start to appreciate your own body image, you'll be less likely to focus on the things that make you insecure. You'll also be more likely to stick with healthy habits, like exercise, because you'll see the benefits in yourself rather than through someone else. Number 6. Don't compare yourself to others. When you compare yourself to others, you inevitably fall short. You may feel like you're not good enough, or that you're not living up to your potential. But don't forget that you are unique, and there is no one exactly like you. Instead of comparing yourself to others, focus on how you can improve upon your own strengths. This way, you'll be able to relate to others better and build stronger relationships. Number 7. Recognize your own self-worth. It's important to remember that you're not defined by your flaws, but by your strengths. In fact, many times your weaknesses can be your biggest assets. For example, consider the case of Darren Hardy. Hardy is a successful entrepreneur who has faced countless rejections and challenges in his career. But because of this, he has learned how to deal with rejection and setbacks effectively. Hardy believes that negatives, such as rejections and challenges, can actually be helpful if they're used in the right way. By facing and overcoming these obstacles, Hardy has learned how to become tougher and more resilient. This has helped him succeed in his business career, and it will also help him in other areas of his life. So don't be afraid to embrace your weaknesses. They can actually be a big part of your success story. Number 8. Reframe your negative thoughts. When you're feeling down about yourself, it's easy to let your negative thoughts take control. But it's important to remember that they're just thoughts. They don't have to be true, and they don't have to stay with you forever. There are a few things you can do to reframe your negative thoughts and make them less harmful. First, understand the difference between real and unreal expectations. It's important not to set yourself up for disappointment by believing in impossible goals or fantasies. Set realistic standards, and be willing to adjust them as you learn more about who you are and what you can accomplish. Another thing you can do is replace negative thoughts with positive ones. When you're stuck in a negative thought loop, try remembering a time when things went well instead of focusing on the negative aspects of the situation. Think about all the things you're grateful for. This will help shift your focus away from the negative and towards the positive. Changing the way you think about your flaws is another important step. Remember that everyone has weaknesses, even the most perfect people in the world. Don't be ashamed of them, and don't let them define you. Instead, use them as an opportunity to learn and grow. Recognize that you're still capable of amazing things despite your flaws. Finally, realize that your weaknesses are actually your strengths. When you recognize your vulnerabilities, it can give you a stronger sense of self-awareness and humility. That in turn can lead to greater empathy for others and a stronger sense of connection to the world around you. Number 9. Embrace your weaknesses. If you want to live a better life, you need to embrace your weaknesses. In this article, Darren Hardy explains how to do just that, and how to use your weaknesses to your advantage. Hardy provides helpful tips and advice on how to use your weaknesses to your advantage, and how to become a better person as a result. One way to embrace your weaknesses and live a better life is to use your flaws to relate to others. For example, if you're shy, don't be afraid to reach out and talk to strangers. By relating to others in a personal way, you'll build trust and mutual respect. You'll also learn that many people have similar flaws, which will give you hope and encouragement. Another way to embrace your weaknesses is to find role models with similar flaws. This can be beneficial because it allows you to see yourself in a positive light. You'll also learn something new from the person you're following. In order to set realistic standards for yourself, it's important to know your capabilities. Don't compare yourself to others, because this will only lead to disappointment and frustration. Instead, focus on your own progress and take things one step at a time. Finally, it's important to remember that not all weaknesses are bad. Some of them can actually be helpful in some way. For example, being shy might mean you're hesitant before making a decision. This is something you should learn to accept and use for your own benefit. By embracing your weaknesses, you'll become a more confident and successful person. You'll also learn how to relate to others and set realistic goals for yourself. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like and comment.